If life has been feeling a little heavy lately, if you feel like you're just carrying way too much, I'm right there with you, and this episode is for you.
Hello, and welcome to Grace for the Journey, where we embrace our path and uncover the beauty of healing together. In this safe space, we'll be exploring what it means to navigate life's ups and downs with grace. Whether you're going through something tough, looking for personal growth, or just need a little encouragement, this is a space for you. We'll share stories, ideas, and practical tools to help you discover strength and healing, no matter where you are in your journey. So, grab a cozy spot or keep crushing your to do list. Let's take this walk together.
Welcome to Grace for the Journey. I'm your host, Sharanda, and I'm so glad to have you joining me today. If it is your first time, welcome, welcome, welcome. If you've been journeying with us for a while, welcome back. So, life can be lifing, and sometimes you can get stuck in a rut. At least I'll speak for myself. I feel like sometimes you just don't know what's going on and literally feel like this is just too much. And there's a few things that help me get out of that rut, and I just want to share that with you today. So, we're going to be talking about 5 things that can help us when life is just feeling like it's too much. Number one, take a breather. If you're anything like me, you probably want the problem solved yesterday. It's okay, it's going to get solved. Take a minute, slow down. I've been taught that a clustered mind, a frustrated mind cannot process and find solutions. I've also been told and taught that there's a solution to every single problem. Even though you're in it right now and you cannot see that solution and you do not know what step to take, you may not understand what's going on, I promise you there is a solution. But if you're flustered, if you're going to and fro, if you are just so stressed that you can't even think and process it properly, then we're getting nowhere. This is one of the probably one of the biggest challenges that I've had myself because I like literally would get so stressed. I feel like my brain's literally on fire. It's literally hurting my neck, all the tension in my neck, the tension in my head, and I'm just going nowhere. So, one thing that has really helped me, like I said, stop, take a moment, breathe, go meditate, go for a walk, go and do something that is not thinking about what you're thinking about. Number two, name it. Acknowledge what this thing is that is stressing you out. What exactly is it that is not working? Call it something, figure it out. I realize with me, sometimes it feels like there's so many different things going on. I can't find the actual problem. So everything feels like the problem. So if everything feels like the problem, once again, I get nowhere. So after you're all calm, sit down and try to figure out what is it? Like, what problem do I want solved right now that would make my life feel like it's better? Now, not all the time that's the actual problem that needs to be solved, but start there. Name it. What is going wrong? What was I waiting on? What have I been waiting on for a long time? What am I dealing with? Exactly what is it? If we're trying to find a solution for something and we don't know what the problem is, how are we going to get that solution? One of my mentors has taught me time and time again, sometimes we don't get the answers we're looking for because we're asking the wrong questions. So saying, I'm stressed, this isn't working, I just don't know what's going on, you know, it's a moment to vent. It's good to get that out of your system, to get it out by saying it, but it's not actually solving our problem if we're quite honest, right? So let's name what actually is our problem. Let's sit down and try to figure out, hey, what is going on? If you have to sit down with a friend or you have to sit down with Jesus, sit down and try to figure out what is the actual problem that has me so stressed right now. Because I know for me, once one thing is stressing me out and I don't deal with it, it trickles to everything and I just become like the Hulk. And it's not good for me or anyone around me. And it feels so heavy. But the problem is, I don't even know what the problem is. And disclaimer, sometimes we don't know what the problem is. But if we can name what it is that we are waiting on or what we think we want solved, let's start there. Okay, this one, number three, may be hard for some people who may have been burnt before, who may have trusted in some people before and they just did you dirty, but you can't do life on your own. Number three, community. Find someone who you can trust, find someone to lean on. If you're going through something so challenging that it has you just completely going haywire, you can't think straight, you don't like, you're not yourself, it's time to call a lifeline. We need community. Jesus himself did not do life by himself. He had his disciples with him, he had people that he leaned on, and he was the Almighty. You're not the Almighty. I'm not the Almighty. We need people. And I get it. It's hard to know who to trust. It's hard to know who to talk to, especially when you tried it before. Maybe not once, maybe twice, maybe three, maybe a lot of times you tried. Maybe you got it wrong. Maybe you got your community wrong. Maybe you trusted somebody who you should have been able to trust, but they just broke the trust. Or maybe you trusted somebody that you shouldn't have trusted, or you gave up some information too quickly. I get it. This one is kind of hard. Sometimes you don't even want people to know what you're going through. Sometimes you feel like this is my business. Let me deal with this. I'll be good. I don't need help. I can do this by myself. I can do bad all by myself and all the things. But we are not meant to be an island. And I've said this like time and time and time and time again. We're not built for that. We are built to lean on people. We are built to lean on people. If you really feel like, you know what, I just don't want to trust, I can't trust anybody, I really have nobody around, then there's therapy for that. There are people that sign contracts and have to keep your information confidential. I mean, it's going to cost you some money, probably, or maybe there may be some complimentary services depending on where you live, but you are not meant to go through certain things alone. Lean on someone, lean on community, find yourself in a group, whatever it is that works for you, but don't do it alone. Okay, I'm gonna have to admit, this one is like probably, what is it, the hardest? One of the hardest. We're getting to like the hardest ones. This one has been really hard for me, but over time, it's gotten easier. Number four, find joy. Find something to be grateful for. Find the one thing to be grateful for. I know when you're in it, it feels like there's absolutely nothing to be grateful for. And I've been there very, 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 very recently. It is hard sometimes when all you can see is that thing and someone is telling you, go find something to be grateful for. But truth be told, there's a scripture that says, in all things, give thanks. In every situation, there is still something to be thankful for. Even if the only thing you can be thankful for is that you have breath coming out of your lungs, that you are breathing, that your eyes work, that you can lift your hands on your own. If it is like what you think is the simplest thing, you start there and you begin to give thanks and be grateful for that thing. My pastor says a lot, if we can think, we can thank. And what we thank God for multiplies. It is so much easier said than done. I promise you, this one will take effort. It will take every ounce of energy you have. You may have to get somebody to help you. You might have to find some energy and some grace from somebody else to do it, but it is necessary. If you keep looking at the problem and not looking at what is actually going right in your life, the problem will be all you see, and you will not be able to find a solution. You will not be able to hear clearly. You'll not be able to see the person that's come in who's been sent to help you because all you can see is this problem. Gratitude is so important in our life. It is so important in our life. And we live in a time where it's so easy to complain. It's so easy to complain about anything because this is a fast paced world. This is like microwave days where everything is quick. We see so much things on social media. We want this, we want that. It's just a different day and age we're living in. And it's easier to complain than to give thanks. It's easier to complain than to be grateful. But I promise you, if you think for a little bit, you will find something to be grateful for. And you must find something to be grateful for. Now, this last one, So I told you they were getting a little harder and harder. This one is probably has probably been the hardest for me, going through some seriously difficult, very tough, very emotionally draining situations. This is something that must happen and works. Number 5, you have to open your mouth and declare what it is that you want to see. I think I spoke about this in different forms and fashion in other episodes. um, this has been so difficult for me. I don't know if you've been in a situation where you have no energy. You have no energy, and someone tell you open your mouth, and thank God, open your mouth and say what you want, but you have no energy to open your mouth. Let's just be real. Very recently, I was going through something, and my mom was like, "Open your mouth! Don't sit there and let the devil beat you up," or something along that line. And I didn't even have energy to answer her back. I just had no energy, zero energy. I know this one is tough, but it must be done. A wise man once said that a closed mouth is a closed destiny. We have creative power. Our words, our mouth carry power. Said this before, declarations, affirmations, whatever you want to call them, they are necessary to depict what it is that you want. If you want to see yourself in a different reality, you have to begin to speak the reality. Now, does it happen overnight? Probably not. But I promise you, if you lump all these things together, if you begin to be grateful, finding joy, finding that one thing to give God thanks for, your mood begins to get better. And then you start to gain energy to speak. And what you're speaking, to be honest, you may not even believe it. But because your mouth is carrying power, it is still holding value. And the more you speak it, the more you speak it, the more you speak what you want, the more you speak yourself out of that situation, ideas begin to come. You begin to actually believe it, even if it seems like it's something impossible. And I promise you, it always works out in the end. We spend so much time sometimes worrying, complaining. And I say we because I'm a part of we, because I do it a lot. And then I have to relive the lesson and relearn the lesson over and over and over again. But it gets easier each time. I get better each time. We spend so much time using our words and using our energy to complain rather than to change the situation, rather than to be grateful and rather than enjoying the moment. And then we find that it always works out. It always works out in the end. So here's your reminder, as I've been reminded, and as I'm constantly reminded, when I'm having heavy times, I'm gonna breathe, take a moment, step back, and then I'm gonna name it. I'm gonna try to figure out what is my problem? What is actually going on here? Because everything feels like the problem right now. I'm gonna call a lifeline if I need to, because community is important and we were meant to be there to lift people up when they need to be lifted up and to be lifted up when we need lifting up. I'm going to find something to be grateful for. We are going to find something to be grateful for, even if it feels like something that is so small, but there's nothing small because there's somebody who is praying for what you are complaining about. Your pain point is somebody else's prayer point. If you remember that, you will always find one thing to be grateful for. And when you find out one thing, you'll find many things after that. And the final, probably the hardest, but it's doable. We can do it. It's opening our mouth and actually speaking what we want to get ourselves out of that situation. Remember, a closed mouth is a closed destiny, and your destiny is great. It can never be closed. You must fulfill your destiny. So that's all I got for you today. I hope those small reminders that has truly helped me over the last few weeks and months will help you in whatever you are going through. And remember, seasons change. It's not always winter. Summer does come. Bye for now. Love you guys. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Thanks for tuning in to Grace for the Journey. I hope you're leaving with a little more inspiration and a lot more grace. Remember, every step you take, big or small, is a part of the journey, and you're doing amazing. Until next time, keep shining, keep growing, and don't forget to celebrate the beauty in those little wins. You've got this. Catch you next time.